You aren't doing the work you know you need to do, and your business isn't growing. I used to struggle with focusing and actually working for even 4 hours a day. But after making this one change, I went from having a monkey mind that couldn't focus for more than 15 minutes to being able to lock in for 90 minutes straight and get 8 to 10 hours of quality work done each day. I'll share the overlooked secrets to cure your procrastination and the 5 steps to my dream life design method for building a successful business and the incredible life that you've always dreamed of. If your goal is to live an exciting, full life, and doing so requires you to be focused and more productive, then you want to make sure that you're working on the right things. Otherwise, you've just wasted your time. To make sure you're focused on the right things, you have to figure out where you're actually trying to go. Since what I want out of life might be very different than what you want out of life, what's productive for me will be different than what's productive for you. Just throwing all the latest productivity hacks you've seen on TikTok or YouTube into your daily routine isn't helpful if it isn't getting you closer to your goals. When I first asked myself this question 3 years ago, I just knew that I wanted to work remotely. After COVID, I knew that I didn't want to go back to working into an office, so I was looking for a remote job. When I finally found one, I realized that I was still unhappy and that I was going after the wrong thing. It wasn't just working from home that I wanted, it was time, money, and location freedom that I craved. Now that I knew my true goal, I reverse engineered the plan, realized that online business was the path, and now I'm loving life more than ever before. And that's why the secret to being able to do the work, build a business you love, and build a life you love is to clearly understand the destination. If you skip this step, that means you're living without intention. You're just letting the universe decide your fate rather than taking your future into your own hands and actively shaping the life you will have. Greatness doesn't just happen by accident. Whether it's Kobe Bryant or Marcus Aurelius, anything great that's been achieved in history had intention behind it. This is why the secret to being able to do the work is to know where you want to go. It is the most important thing when you are starting your business. So, how do you figure out where you want to go without getting it terribly wrong, building a business you hate, and regretting your decisions in life? Well, the first step is to figure out your purpose and vision. And I actually created a document that walks you through this. So I'm going to switch to that now. So we're in the Design Your Dream Life guide. And this document was designed to help you know yourself, know what you want out of life, and what you don't want out of life. So the first question here is asking, what are you running away from and why? The reason this is the first question in the guide is because you want to know what you dislike about your current situation. What do you hate about it? Why are you so desperate to run away from where you currently are? And the reason this is the first question is because the pain of where you are and where you don't want to be is a very good motivator to help you do the work and get you to where you want to go. The pain you want to avoid can be even more powerful than the reward of where you're trying to go. I want you to try to be as thorough and detailed as possible. Go through as much clarity in the examples of your current state and your current life and the parts of it that you dislike, because this is going to help you visualize what you're trying to do, what you're trying to build, where you're trying to go much more clearly. And you can use ChatGPT to help you with this as well. You can put in some of the ideas of what you dislike, and it can help you put it in words that maybe are more clear than you would have been able to. It's a great tool. And now that you know what you dislike and the pain you're trying to move away from, you want to figure out, what does your dream life look like and what are you moving towards? So this can include things like, how much money do you want to be making? Where do you want to be living? Really, if time or money wasn't a concern, what would your life look like? How would you want it to look like? Is it a dream home? Is it a future family? Is there something that you would be working on? Again, go into as much detail as possible, and you want this to be as vivid as you can so that you can really visualize it and even feel what having that life would feel like. The next step is to ask yourself, who do you need to become in order to create this dream life? It's great to know what you want to have in life, but there's a good chance that there might be character traits you need to develop or habits or lifestyle changes that are required for you to be successful. And that's why we want to ask ourselves, what character traits do we need? What beliefs do we need to form? And that might even just be the belief that it is possible to build that dream life. A lot of people have this dream of living a certain way, but they don't actually believe that it could ever be true. And that is enough to make sure that it will never come true. You have to believe that you can do it. That's the only way you're going to be able to take the actions to make those beliefs become a reality. And so you can even go into more detail. How do you think you would want to talk? Is it more confidently? Is it more softly? How would you walk? Would you dress? Would you speak? Go into detail about what this successful version of yourself would look like. And then we want to make sure that we actually like the person that we just described above. Is this the ideal version of yourself? And if it is, that's amazing. If not, you want to look at what traits you described that you don't actually like, because you don't want to become a person that you no longer like. If you think that to be successful, you have to be super cutthroat and step on people, maybe that doesn't align with the person that you want to be, and that can show a conflict. And in this case, it's probably not true that you need to step on people to become successful, because I think the most successful people usually have a strong degree of empathy for others, because in the world of business, you're working with other people. And so you have to know how to treat other people well if you do want to go further in life. And now that you know who you need to be and want to be, you can reverse engineer the plan. So just think of what are the 10 most important actions you need to start taking in order to become the person who has your dream life and start building it today. The point of this is we don't want to go through this exercise and then not do anything with it. The whole point is we want to figure out where we're trying to go so that we can understand what we need to do to get there. And that's why just critically thinking about the top 10 things that will get you moving in that direction is going to be enough to get you started. And by the way, if you want a copy of this document to fill out, you can get it just by clicking the link in the description below, and you can go and map out what your dream life would look like. Okay, we've been talking about this idea of beliefs a lot, and I just want to dive deeper into that to explain why it's so crucial for you to be able to do the work and build that dream life. So this here is a simple diagram that explains it really well. I want to start off with this, the title, The Self-Fulfilling Prophecy. Now, in psychology, there's this phenomenon called the self-fulfilling prophecy. And what they find is that people who have very strong beliefs about themselves and the world, their reality is usually very much aligned to that. For instance, if you think that the world is unfair and you're always treated poorly, there's a good chance that you're not going to be doing very well in life and other people might not treat you the best. But there's a reason for that. Our beliefs greatly influence our actions, unconsciously and consciously. So if you believe that the world is unfair and people treat you poorly, there is a good chance that you're kind of acting like a jerk, or you're acting like someone that people don't want to talk to too much, or people don't want to help. And that's why you feel that you're treated unfairly. However, if you go back here and you believe that the world is just and that you try your best and you're always trying to constantly improve and learn and find solutions rather than problems, these are your inputs. You're putting those into your mind and your heart. Then you're going to, again, consciously or unconsciously perform actions that are aligned with that. So you're going to be looking for solutions. You're going to be trying to find better ways of doing things and learn when you already failed. This is how you grow. This is a learner's mindset, a growth mindset. And Your actions create your reality, your outputs. It makes sense that your inputs, your belief, affect your outputs, which are your reality. And that is why we want to make sure that our beliefs are constructive. They're beliefs that will actually support the dream life that we want. And this is why I'm saying, if you have a dream life of being able to travel and not be worried about needing a job, you need to believe that's actually possible. Because when you do, you can start taking actions to actually make that possible. And that's why here in step 5, we wanted to reverse engineer some of the 10 most important steps. We want to have the belief that it's possible and then take actions that are going to help us actually build that reality. Now, you'll hear a lot of people say that if you have a hard time focusing and doing the work, it's because you don't actually love what you do. And they'll also say that when you love the work, you have the opposite problem. You have a hard time stopping doing the work because you love it so much. But it's not always so black and white. Yes, you should love what you do, because if you love it, even if something's hard and you don't want to do it, you know it's going to help you towards your goal, so it gives you a good enough reason to go and do it anyway. But that doesn't mean you have to love every single thing that you're doing. I mean, I absolutely love what I do. I love my business, I love my small team, and I genuinely care about the difference that I'm trying to make in the world, which is help people escape the employee trap, build a business they love, and have financial freedom. But there are things that I absolutely hate doing in my business. Things that are harder for me to focus on, or I'm more easily able to procrastinate and get distracted. And I'm human. On occasion, this feeling does get the better of me and I procrastinate more than I should. But most of the time, I can remind myself of the bigger picture, the goal that I'm trying to achieve, and the life that I want to build. And that's a big enough kick in the pants for me to refocus and get back to work. Just because you don't love every part of running your business doesn't mean you're on the wrong path or that you aren't disciplined. But knowing the purpose of your work is going to help you stay disciplined. So yes, you should love what you're doing or else you're going to burn out. But that doesn't mean you have to love every single part of everything you have to do in order to do the thing you're trying to do. Do you feel me? You can love your business, not love everything on your to-do list, still get it done, and still be successful. But if you don't have this next thing, then the second you hit some resistance, you're going to get distracted, lose focus, and eventually give up because business is too hard. I've worked with people who forget about this thing, and they're always the ones who either come closest to failing or actually give up and shut down their business. And that's why it's so important to know why you want it. I want to just go back to this document over here. And I want to point out this quote that I have at the top by Friedrich Nietzsche. If you don't know him, he's a philosopher. And he says, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This applies to business too. And it's the reason why your vision is the first part we went over and why it's so important. And it's why going through this document in a lot of detail is so helpful. The more crystal clear your vision is, the better you know your why, and the easier it is to overcome any how along the way. I just want to give you an example real quick. Before I started my coaching business, I actually had a design freelance service that I built to $10K a month. But after 6 months, I shut it down. And everything we talked about is exactly why. After working and grinding for so long, I realized that I was still very unhappy. I was more happy than when I had a job because I didn't have a boss or anyone telling me I had to go into the office or be at my desk during certain hours. But I just didn't love solving these problems and I was tired. And had I done an exercise like this before I started that business, maybe I wouldn't have made that mistake. Maybe I would have started my coaching business earlier and I could have been further along. But I had to learn the hard way. And that's why I wanted to create this document. I want to share it with you because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made, and I want you to succeed even faster than I have. And if you're going to succeed, you need this next thing, which is super important because if you don't have it, no matter how much you know your why and you can overcome some hows or how disciplined you are, your business and your dream life is still going to crumble. Let me tell you a story. There is a storm raging on a small town, and the storm turns into a flood. As the waters rise, the local priest kneels down at the entrance of the church, surrounded by water. One of the townsfolk comes up the street in a canoe. He says, "Better get in, priest. The waters are rising fast." The priest says, "No, I have faith in the Lord. He will come to save me." Still the waters rise, and the priest has climbed up to the balcony when another guy zips by in a motorboat. He says, "Come on, priest, we need to get you out of here. The levee's gonna break any moment." Once again, the priest is unmoved. "I shall remain. The Lord will see me through." After a while, the levee breaks, and the flood rushes in so that only the steeple at the top of the church remains. The priest is up there clinging to a cross when a helicopter arrives and a state trooper with a megaphone says, "Grab the ladder, priest. This is your last chance." Once again, the priest is insistent that the Lord will come and save him, and eventually he drowns. Being a pious man, the priest goes to heaven. After a while, he gets an interview with God, and he asks, "Lord, I had unwavering faith in you. Why didn't you deliver me from that flood?" God shakes his head and says, "What else did you want from me? I sent you 2 boats and a helicopter." The point of this story is that God or the universe or whoever or whatever you believe in only helps those who help themselves. Manifesting and believing without actually taking any action won't get you anywhere. You might just drown like the priest. And this is why you need to have a plan. You need to have strategies and tactics that actually work. If you believe something and you clearly know what you want and why you want it, and you reverse engineer the plan and take action on that plan, that is called having faith. And when you have faith, the universe is going to give you what you need to succeed as long as you keep going. Faith isn't just blindly hoping that good things are going to happen. It's having the courage to take action and to do the hard things, not knowing if the desired outcome is certain. But if you have a good plan and you've learned good strategies, then it greatly increases the likelihood of success, and this makes having faith a lot easier. The universe won't just give you what you want, but it will give you the opportunities to help you get what you want. You have to attract opportunity and actually recognize when it's in front of you. And this is why your beliefs are so important. It's going to be what allows you to shift your perspective and start recognizing when opportunities are there so that you can take action. When you take action, that's when you can turn opportunities into your dream reality. Now, I know this is a lot to think through, but if you take the time to seriously ask yourself these questions, you have exponentially increased the likelihood of building a successful business that you love, and even more importantly, the life that you dreamed of. To help you through this process, you can get my Dream Life Design Guide for free by clicking the link in the description below. I know that it will help you create the solid foundation you need for your business and for your life, so I hope that you seriously work through it, and I can't wait to see all of the success that you will have in the future.